What's happening, high ticket sellers? Sean Malone here, back at you with another one. I'm super excited about today. I got this question. I was so excited to get this question because I know it's something that comes up fairly often, and so I'm going to pop it on the screen here. Carlos B, who helps people close high ticket deals over the phone. He helps coaches and so forth do that. But he asked, "How do I earn $1 million per year as a sales professional?" I think he got that question from one of his clients, and he was just asking me as well because I'm one of his coaches. And so I think it's what I wanted to do today is actually I want to dive into a screen share and share some very simple math that you can use today in your world to figure out exactly where you're trying to go. Now, if it's $1 million, great. We write down that as the target. If it's you're trying to make six figures, which is $100,000 in a single year, the same formula applies. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen really quick. Let me know in the comments if you can't see my screen here in just 1 second. And then I'm okay. So I should be sharing now. So just give me 2 seconds here so I can double check on my phone and make sure that my screen is actually sharing. Just give me 1 second here. It looks like, oh, okay. So that is not quite where I need it to be right here. So I'm actually going to go. Will that make it bigger? Okay, cool. So that makes it a little bigger, and then I'll actually zoom in so you might be able to see it just a little bit more. And we're going to go through this thing start to finish here. So I just want to make sure that it makes sense for you. Okay, so let's see if I can, it's still kind of too small there. I wanted to keep my face on the screen, but I don't know how to make it little. Let me try this here. Let me see what it looks like. There it is. That's the one that I wanted to do. That's important. Okay, so now we have this up. Here's the $1 million sales math. It's very, very simple. Thank you, Sahil, for sharing with me. Now you guys can see my screen, and it shows you the $1 million sales math. So there's literally 6 steps that you guys got to do. So step 1, write this down. Write down what your average. Okay, so first of all, like pick your target. Do you want to make $1 million? Do you want to make $100,000? Like, how much is the number that you want to make in a single year? Write that down on the top of your paper. Like, I want to make 7 figures this year as a sales professional, right? And so then what we need to do is figure out what step 1 is. Write down what your average commission per deal is worth to you. Now, in one of our masterminds, we actually earn about $100 as a commission. And so I'm going to use this as an example. This is real world for us, so you can kind of see what it looks like in our world. Okay, so we know that the first thing we write down is we earn about $5,800 in commissions for every deal that we close. So that's step 1. Step 2 is now figure out how many deals you need to close $1 million with that as your commission. So literally, you just take $1 million and you divide it by the commission that you're going to be earning, and that will tell you how many deals in the entire year that you need to close. So in this case, if I wanted to make $1 million for our mastermind, we would need to close 172.4 deals in a single year to make 7 figures. Okay, pretty awesome. Like, it's not as many as most people think. A lot of people, when they first see this number, they're like, oh my God, Sean, this is awesome, because now I know, like, and once you've done this math, guess what? You get very clear, right? Now, step 3, as we move along, now you need to figure out how many deals a day you need to close in order to reach $1 million, right? And so there's 260 business days out of the year. Unless you work and close on weekends, then you can add this number. But 260 days is a very average number to use. So write down 260. That's the days in a year. And then you divide the amount of deals you need to close by the amount of days available in the year, business days. So whatever this number was, you divide that number by 260. And then you see here that I would need to close, in order for this to be, if I was a solo sales pro working in this business all by myself, and we wanted to create $1 million in commission for myself as an individual person, I would need to close 0.66 deals per day. Right? So that's pretty valuable. So now you know, okay, I need to close at least 0.66 deals per day in order to earn $1 million in commission. So now we go to step 4, figure out how many meetings it's going to take you to close 0.66 deals per day, right? So I know that on a very meager and average close ratio of 20%, my close ratio is anywhere between 50 and 80 normally, but for reference purposes, let's say I only closed one deal out of every 5 people that I spoke to. Usually it's 2 or 3. So very conservatively, again, you just figure out what your close ratio is. You probably already know what this is because you can just see how many sales calls you've taken versus how many you've closed. That will give you a percentage. That's where you start. Okay. So if I, for example, only closed one deal out of 5, I would need 5 deals in a day to close about 0.66 deals because I know I can close 1 in 5. That's at least going to get me over that number. So my final number is I need to have 5 appointments every single day to know that I'm going to make at least $1 million in commission, right? And again, note, this would be your current close ratio if you were closing at 20% as an example. So now we move to step 5, figure out how many leads you need per day to be reaching out to in an outreach strategy or a marketing strategy or any, like, because there's really three methods. There's inbound, which is you're running webinars, you're doing JV joint venture deals, you're doing paid advertising. That's inbound marketing, meaning you put out a piece of content, people are attracted to that content and they come in towards you. That's the first style. We actually throw rocks against that because I believe that paid ads, even though they're really wonderful and we use them, I think there's a much more cost-effective way to do it to grow businesses. And the second side is outbound strategies. And there's 2 main buckets of outbound stuff. So the first one is social outreach, just cold outreach on social media. That's one way to do it. You could just cold call. You could just send cold emails. And that is literally the outbound outreach strategy, right? So there's a couple of different buckets within that one. That's the one we specialize in within the high ticket ascenders, within the sales ascenders organizations, because that's one we got really, really good at. So I know that now if I need to close 5 appointments per day, that I need for every 100 people that I reach out to on social media or through email or through just cold calling, I will usually book 5 appointments. So that means every 5 out of 100, I book an appointment. That means I would need 100 leads every single day in order to ensure that I had 5 appointments on a calendar that I'm selling on a day and that I could close 1 out of 5 to hit that 0.66 number. And then I know with authority that if I'm consistently having 5 appointments a day, which means I'm putting in 100 leads into my, outbound strategy, my outreach, or if I'm, marketing with inbound marketing and I'm getting 100 leads a day, like I know the numbers will actually come into the thing. Last piece is step 6, do the work, get paid. Very, very, very simple, right? So it's like literally you need to have a guide plan. You need to have a pathway, and you need to understand that, hey, when you know your numbers, right, everything gets very, very crystal clear, and the targets that you have become extremely black and white. And so I hope this helped you today. Again, this is just a high ticket 10-minute tune-up. I got a great question from Carlos. Carlos, thank you so much for this question, my man. I'm going to continue answering all these types of questions, but this one was, how do I earn $1 million per year as a sales pro individual? Carlos B, that's your answer. You got to do the math, and then you got to do the work. Like very, very simple. So with that said, guys, I'm going to call it quits on this one today. I hope that was valuable for you, and I look forward to the next high ticket 10-minute tune-up. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.